Hey everybody, Danny Greco, Keller Williams here. I've got the final stats for 2020, specifically December of 2020 here. And let's just kind of give a little bit of a recap of what happened in the Seattle area housing market in 2020. And just like everywhere else, I'm sure, and for every other industry, it was pretty wild. So typically our market is pretty seasonal based. So a lot of activity happens in the first and second quarter of the year, specifically around that springtime, March, April, May. And that's right, of course, when the shutdown and lockdown hit and things everywhere just went on pause, not just our industry, but everywhere, of course. So instead of that, we had a really robust summer market, which is very atypical. Typically, that's a time that things are pretty chill, not a lot going on. So very up and down market, one that ended kind of with a big push rather than a thud, which typically happens most of the year. That being said, these stats for December 2020 are pretty incredible. So I want to jump into that right now. We're going to look at Seattle, the East Side, and then King County in general. So starting with Seattle, what was most interesting was out of those three areas, Seattle was the only market that saw an increase year over year in supply. Inventory was actually up about 17% in December 2020 than it was 2019. Now, that didn't result in any losses for the median sale price. That was still about a 10% increase year over year. So Seattle ended in December 2020 with a $799,950 median sale price. Let's call that 800. Why do I want to call that 800? Well, because I want to talk about this other streak that we've been talking about. So for a while, for the previous 6 months, Seattle has been at or above $800,000 for the median sale price. So let's just call $799,950 $800,000, and we've now hit that mark 7 months in a row, which has never been done before. I think the most before that was 3, maybe 2, but I think it might have been done 3 times in a row, but it could have only been twice. So anyway, that's just an incredible stat there. Reason behind that, inventory. And at the end of the year, Seattle had just 3 quarters of a month of inventory, which is just insane levels of nothing there. The neighborhood that took home the greatest amount of appreciation year over year is going to be your Beacon Hill area, your Columbia City, those areas in South Seattle there, so good job there. Now looking over at some of the other areas, so the East Side. So Seattle had about 3 quarters of a month of inventory. The East Side is at a quarter of a month. So again, months of inventory means if tomorrow the government came out and said, hey, that's it, moving forward, nobody can put their house on the market, it would take roughly that long for every house currently on the market to be sold and there to be left with nothing. So a quarter of a month is roughly 1 week. So if that happened today, the East Side would be out of homes in 1 week. That is crazy considering a normal balanced market is about 3 months of inventory. So to be at 1 week of inventory, amazing. And that is definitely being reflected in the sales price for the median sales price for the East Side as well, which went up to $1,113,000 and some change. Again, that's the median sales price. So you're looking $400,000 more than what you're even seeing in Seattle. So big time stuff there. While Seattle was up about 17% year over year in inventory, the East Side was down 62%. But despite that, they still had 26% more home sales. So you're down 62% in inventory, up 26% in total volume of sale. I mean, that's just incredible. That's why you get crazy numbers like that. And King County was really in the middle here. Of course, King County incorporates both the East Side and Seattle. But they had about a half a month of inventory to end December. Now their median sale price in December ended at $740,000, which was a little dip actually from where it was in November, but still very strong. And again, all just driven by insane low levels of inventory. Buyer activity as a whole, speaking about Seattle specifically, was up for the first time in 5 months. So that number had actually been declining, as it always does towards the end of the year, but that had been declining a little bit step by step. That is back up for the first time in 5 months and at levels it hadn't seen since July. So again, this is just December. I think when we start talking about what January February, March start looking like we're going to be blown away, because the ferocity of the market right now, as I'm filming this in January, is at levels I have not seen before, or if I have, it's very reminiscent of the 2018 market, which was by far the craziest market and the most frustrating for anybody who wasn't a seller and getting out of town, the most insane and crazy market that we've dealt with. And I'm getting reminded and feeling a lot of the same things that we felt in that market. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but if you remember what happened the second half of 2018, very different from what we're going on and what we're experiencing here. So that's going to be something to watch for. I don't want to get too out of my lane here in predicting what's going to happen that far down the road, but I do see this 2021 market again being fueled by insanely low levels of inventory, record low mortgage rates, buyer activity being very high, and that's probably high on the confidence of the overall economy and normalcy returning. Hopefully, we'll see. But it's going to be a lot to look forward to 2021, so stay tuned and we'll have more for you.